Hello! Good day, good evening, salutations, greetings! My name is Margie, Hilk Empath. I just like having these little talks and the way I feel about things. I'm settling down. It's been a very active 2 days for me. It's been an emotional roller coaster. I don't know what your stats are, your stars are in your charts. For me, release, let go and let God. That's what it's been, man. My energy field, man. I've been wound tight my whole life. It's taken me 46 years to come to a place of ease and turn that over. All that anxiety, all that fear I just gotta turn it over to God. Take the reins, God. You got it. Because I don't have the energy. I don't have the strength in it. So I gotta draw on His source to get me through just the, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? I manage all right. I had a very, very, very eventful day. I did not get had for 2K. Although, I still don't have an address. Positive side, that was like how I started my day, but I got to say my piece to that person. I just got to let them know, I'm like, listen, if I had the energy, I would find out who you are, and I'd make things life very difficult for you if I had the energy, but I don't. I said, I'm going to bless and release you into whatever happens to you, because I know that you're a scam. I verified that you're a scam. And that there's a special place in hell for people like you that take advantage of other people when there's so many people that are in a desperate way right now. So many. So. And then I got a phone call pretty soon after that from another nice lady. This is a good song. It's a good song. It's got a nice beat. Oh, yeah. See, the world's gonna open up again, okay? And people are a little skittish right now, but because of people like me, we got grand ideas and we've seen grand things in our lives. Things that you wouldn't believe. I remember in the 90s, mid 90s, late 97, 96, 97. Oh man, San Francisco that year. Just because you go out on adventures, you never know what you can tell. You know, you always end up in those little, I always end up in those little hole in the walls. Like me and my roommate Michael, we were hanging out at the Castro, you know. We end up in a freaking warehouse in the Mission District someplace with like, it was a rave. It was everything. There were men swinging from like poles in angel wings on the rafters and things like that. I mean, I mean, I've had a lot of really cool experiences. I've seen a lot of wild things, and people just are so rigid because they think all that elation and celebration is just, I don't know, twisted. People have made so many things twisted, you know. There ain't no harm in dancing and having a good time and carrying on. See, the thing of it is, people like me, we're here to help triage the world that's coming in, man, because it's already coming out. It's already coming out. It's happening. The stuff it's happening. The truths are being revealed. It's about to be a shit show, people. And this has been my life, my whole entire life, understand? Okay, so because of all the monstrosities and the crimes against humanity that have happened to me and my mother and things like that, and I've just been telling the story, you know, it's messed up, and it falls on deaf ears. Now where people are tuning in, it's happening to too many people. More than 51% have had a tragic story of somebody that has harmed them and caused harm to them for dastardly reasons, whatever they are, whatever deity, demon, hurt they're serving. They're not serving God because God heals people. So, and everybody has free will. So I mean, if people have weird, trippy, you know what people know what right and wrong is. You don't harm people. And I just called my talk. I had a nice conversation with the nice gal. We talk about once a week, maybe. I check in with her. She's one of the earth angels that are trying to help me find a place for mom. And she was involved with early child development. Mom took a couple classes at Shasta College. She didn't get to finish because life got too much in the way, and so I mean, and I even have a videotape of my mom doing a speech. She's a very eloquent speaker. She's smart, stuff like that. She spelled bull bowel. Yeah, that was cute, because I'm a terrible speller too. We just get nervous and stuff, and you only have one shot, so it's like, what do? You're not going to scratch it out or just go with it. But and when I talk to this lady, it's like, she understands me because she understands all the aspects that were broken in me that I've healed, and she can understand that she recognizes it. And then I get to get recognition. I'm like, all right, I'm better along than I thought I was and stuff like that. Anyway, she was talking about how she loved when because her like daughters are teachers, because they're all caregivers. You got these people that I always like, the caregivers, because I never got it, and so I watched them care about other people, and then that's how I learned how to care about other people. When you care about people, you do this. When you care about people, you do that. Because I knew all about that. When you don't care about people, all the things that you do, I knew all about that, because it's feelings and it's vibration and frequency. And when people do things to you that don't feel good, everybody knows what that feels. Like when they take your power, it's a drain, it's a minus, it's a suck, it's a draw. Even if they say things like, why are you so fat? And stuff like that, It's just, some people have the predisposition to just cause harm to others. And some people do it in a much more significant, drastic way, and that's what people are going to find out about all the cannibals and stuff like that. They're finding out. And the people that do it, they see no harm in it. They see no harm in it. It's just what they've always done. Everybody else is looking at 9s and they're like, no, it's a 6. It's just weird. It's perception and how people are raised, and if they're broken early enough, then they'll continue the broken behavior. And some people like me, we were broken, but you couldn't break our spirit. We just kept going more to God and the glory of God. And I thought it was so funny when she said the naughty no. I was like, I was a naughty no-no. I'm like, I am a naughty no-no. I'm the naughty no-no. Don't touch this. Don't do this. Don't do that. We were born knowing that we are a spirit having a human experience. Everybody else is like, I'm a person. I gotta go to school, and then I gotta grow up and get a job and pay all my money to the government so they can control me. And then I get so stressed out, I eat my feelings, and then I get unhealthy and go to a medical system that's gonna make me sicker. And then I'll do all this, and at the end of my life, I'm gonna go, dang, I wish I would have done what my heart wanted to do more. Well, I'm the dumb bastard that just kept doing what they wanted. I mean, I followed the program. I was with the program for a while. And then I'm like, man, this is no fun. Living in society, being a part of society, all they want me to do is their paperwork and go here and do this. And I'm like, it takes out all of my day. F that. I'm skipping. That's why I almost didn't freaking graduate high school. My only 2 required classes were 5th and 6th. It was history and economics. I'm like, those are both bullshit. They're both reindeer games. It's contingent on who's in charge and how they feel that day. It's because I had teachers that would give me, if I was on the teeter of like, barely passing, a lot of people didn't do me no favors, They didn't do me no favors. I hated all that pageantry. That's how a report is pageantry. Ask me questions about what I know and what it was, It was never like that, and I hate writing because my penmanship's bad. I get bad marks. I'm like, because I'm thinking about how you're gonna think about how shitty my penmanship is, and I'm gonna get bad marks. So what difference does it make? So that was it was a nice conversation. I'm a naughty no-no. I'm a naughty no-no. Man, but that's how we learn. I don't look at them as mistakes. I look at everything as a life lesson, and I don't do the same thing over and over all the time. I do it with slight variances. It's not all the same mistakes. They're similar mistakes, slight variances. And then what else? Oh, I got to go hang out in a book club. I got invited to an online book club. It was freaking rad because I'm not a reader, but it was just fellowship. It was hearing a story. I love hearing people's stories. And so many people are coming into their hurts of pain right now, and their recognition of the gnarliness that has happened to them. All that stuff that people said, no, that didn't happen. They're like, fuck you, it did so. And this was there, and you were there, and that's why you probably didn't want, and all this recognition, realization. I had an epiphany on a talk earlier, and it blew me over, because Chantel and Monet and Jesse had a talk earlier today, from this morning from Aquarius Rising Australia. How you doing, Benno? You comfy buds? And they've been talking about all the bestiality that they do, with the animals and stuff like that. See, and this is interesting because when you follow, because I put things together, right? That's what I do. Now, because they're talking about Ellen and how she has a gorilla sanctuary where there's people, it's all about money. Everything's about money to these people that are serving entities, beings, egos, their own, others, whatever. However you want to look at it, it's all about power, control, and that equates money. Because people think the more they got, the more they can do. But there's some people that don't give a fuck about money, because we're just trying to get by in life, eat some good food, drink some clean water, fellowship, have a peaceful life. And there's other people that they're so broken inside that ain't enough for them, that they got to go and do all this other stuff. And there's the people at the end of the spectrum that are so dark and so gross that they freaking have dinner parties, hang out, and watch freaking apes and stuff freaking brutally in the lives of children for entertainment. And then you look, and we all know that own is what own is, or that whatever that Oprah. See, because she duped me, because she had a lot of people that planted seeds in me when I was a little girl. Gary Zukov, because he lived in Mount Shasta, and he was this brave soldier, and he found peace, and and it's like they had this heart space, and I think that they intended, had started in a good way, but then they got bloodthirsty, and power thirsty, and hungry. So it took them down a dark and twisted trajectory, because they did do a lot of stuff that, and they raised a lot of vibes. It's cool. You give a whole audience a car and stuff like that. That's cool. That's real neat that people do stuff like that. So much. A lot of girls my age in the 70s, that were born in the 70s. We came home from school and Oprah would be on. So they took advantage of stuff, but just take the good and leave the rest. Take the good and leave the rest. And so what got me thinking is, because I lived in Omaha. See, and I know Omaha is it's the middle of America, so all the trafficking. Because I remember hearing talks 2 years ago, 3 years ago that Wardy B is like a high, freaking whatever, one of those. Ask him, he won't tell you, But I think about all this stuff because I've been tracking it. I worked at a Jesuit, so it's I worked at a Jesuit university, okay, And they used to always have these dignitaries. It was always pony shows. I hated it because people were coming and they were so important. Just ask them, like, if they're priests, what the fuck do they give, And it's, from Africa, from Tibet. We had the priests to do the mandala with the little sand stuff. That was cool. But it was just like all these, really important people, but I never give a shit about titles and stuff like that. So I never really paid attention. And then that's the university side. Then because it's run by a bunch of Jesuits, see, and then you have the hospital side. Well, the hospital had a hospital had a contract that they were working with the zoo, the Omaha Zoo. The number, it always touts itself as like the number 3 greatest zoo in the world and stuff like that. I don't really like them. I think the animals should be living in their own habitat where, because it's winter and there's a lot of like warm weather animals there, and I'm sure they don't like living in the winter in Nebraska, because I didn't. That's why I still don't live there. If it weren't for the winters and the humidity, there's like 2 months in Nebraska that are like, this is great. The rest is like, I don't want to go outside. It's stupid. And so there was an event one time. There was actual a thing. It was in the news, because I remember somebody got it clipped, because I lived there, and if I lived there, and it was all over the place on social media when I lived there, so I can imagine what I don't know, maybe it wasn't. But there was a gorilla that you walk through, the gorilla house, and there's a kid was taunting the gorilla. And the gorilla came and smacked on the glass and like broke the glass, like the double-plated glass broke the part on the other side, and then everybody freaked out, like he aggressively attacked it, and then that made me think when their talk this morning, Jesse was talking about how it wasn't Jesse, and it was Tarot by Janie, and it's like, well, how do they, and it's like withholding. Withholding gets animals to react a certain way. And I've seen that gorilla, and I was like, F that little kid's parents for letting that kid frickin' tap on the glass. I mean, every kid should know from goldfish, you don't tap on the glass. You don't instigate. You don't provoke. You don't do that. You just observe, you watch, and then you have these beings that are like, put their energy on yours, and then nature's like defends itself, and then nature gets hassled. There's a lot of weird stuff. I don't get viruses and bugs and stuff like that, but I'm getting software installed on my phone that I'm not allowing. And there is a lot. Well, see, these are made in China. So why is anybody ever surprised? Really? If you know that these storylines exist, why are people ever surprised? Thank you, Kijin. Thanks for sharing me, bud. Homie. That's why I always keep my stuff off. My volumes are always down. I keep every setting. But I go in and I look at my phone too to learn every setting, because they're always moving it around and stuff like that. But we got to be smart about offset and you know what? VPNs, they're horseshit. It's just another freaking. Just don't click on links and stuff like that. Just don't give your passwords to anybody ever. Unless you verify, because the scoundrels are out, because everybody's starting to figure out who the bullshitters are. So they're like, oh shit, we don't have viable attributes that are going to get us by in life. So we're really in trouble. The scoundrels are really freaking out right now. I couldn't play my music earlier. It kept saying I got to sign into a Japanese account, or you got to sign in from a US account, and I was like, somebody freaking sold a backdoor something to somewhere, my iTunes, I'm just like, what? They're just, everybody's looking, we're finding out who's all selling out, who the seller outers are. People have sold their soul, man. Netflix indicted. Netflix indicted. This stuff is happening, man. People are fake. People. It's always been like this. People always got paid off. So then stuff got buried under the freaking rug. Jesse's a boater and the Dark Outpost. The things that they are doing to expose this. She's working with the administration and has been. And to hear the president talk about the darkness that they're obliterated, and I mean, dude, there's no wonder that he treats that. I can't stand her. Freaking Hillary. That she's an evil human being. These people are so dark and so twisted. The whole world is about to have a nervous breakdown. It's us people that have already had a nervous breakdown because we had all this shit happen to us already, and we've healed our felt self because we found a power outside of ourselves. God, Jesus Christ, whatever. You found a hobby that whatever led you on the path of just obedience, not doing the right thing, good orderly direction, call it whatever you want, not being a dick. Just I've struggled with my anger my whole entire life. And when I hear people like Jessie, I talk about her a lot. The reason being is she's the only person that I've ever heard in my life that has been through more shit than I have, that has seen more shit than I have. And because she has seen more, she got to like walk around with God and hold his hand. And he freaking led her to safety. You know, and I always believed in this stuff because I've had like little bit of gods here and there, you know, to give me like that, you know, to get me through circumstances. But the God shows up in the measure of the calamity. So for her calamity was larger, so he's like, okay, I gotta make a bigger impression to this nice young impressionable, because she's closer to source, because she's already that much closer to darkness, if that tracks. So she's already full duality, so he really had to show up in a way that she's, and I love her because I've cussed out God, flipped him off, you know, cussed him, like, what now, what, you know, not recently, back in the days, and, you know, and I think he likes the naughty no-nos too, is what I think. I think he likes the defiant ones, us that are like, no, that's bullshit, it's not how it's supposed to be, you know. I always got in trouble because I always called out that it ain't supposed to be this way, man. That's not fair. That's not fair. You know, because you can't make it fair just for a few people in the room. You got to make it fair for everybody in the room, you know. And people haven't been doing that for a long, long time. And it's time to open up the earth again. It's going to be a long, cold winter. It's going to be a beautiful, glorious freaking spring, man. We're gonna open up the earth. We're gonna start a community again, and picnics and potlucks and people coming out and, you know, asking it, you know, talking about their feelings and the stuff that they got through during the year of darkness, the year of 2020, the year of clear vision, when everybody was in the dark, when everybody ate the red apple, you know, when they like in the Garden of Eden, and that exposed them to all the darkness that's in the world, and everybody's seeing it, and that's within myself. I found the darkness, and my anger is just fear. Every time I get mad, I'm powerless at something, and I'm mad about it, and it manifests in this. So a couple weeks ago, I was in the backyard, and I was tootling around, and I was mad about something, and I almost turned my ankle. I got a bad left ankle. And I almost did it, and I heard this, vengeance is mine, and I was like, all right. and I dropped it. Like that whole vibration of me being mad. I opened my hands and I was like, "Boo, okay." And so now whenever I get overwhelmed, when I get overloaded, when I'm like in fear, if I'm thinking about something I can't control that happened before, or if I'm worried about something that's out of my hands that's gonna happen, that may, or in the day that hasn't happened yet, I hear vengeance is mine, and I drop it, because that the Lord, it's the Lord's to have. It's vengeance and not mine. So people really got to step in the heart, and you got to, if you find out if I were to find out someone was close to me and done some dastardly things, you gotta hate this. You gotta hate the sin, not the sinner. We gotta find a measure of love and forgiveness in all people, and we gotta start within ourselves, because we're not. If you don't forgive yourself for the trespasses that you've done against yourself, and that's like me. Like, I let myself drink and put myself in bad positions. And I know a lot of women have done that. A lot of men, have done that too. But a lot of men, their stuff is they didn't control themselves. So now they're going to start remembering all those times, when they were young bucks and they're freaking splashed on their Jaquar Noir for the night. How many, if they brought that back right now, there would be so many women that would be freaking triggered all over the place. I told him to stop, jerk, Then they're like, oh no, you wanted it and all that stuff, and all that stuff, and then it leads up to where we are. Because I heard a really neat story of a woman. It was her first time she told a story. I don't know how autonomous. I'm gonna leave it autonomous, but I'm not gonna say her name or nothing like that. So I don't have her permission. So, but it was her first time. And she's in her 70s, and this stuff is from when she was a little kid. So see, because we start out close to source as children, and we remember everything and knowing everything, and we share what we remember and know, and then people go, "That's not true. That's not real. That's not true. This is how it is. Go to school, sit in the front of the classroom, pay attention, repeat everything that is told to you, and do that for the rest of your life until you die." And there's no spirit in that. So, and then when you get to the end of your life, as I understand it, you get closer back to source, and then you remember who you were when a child, and it's just like, what did you do in the dash? How much did you live to God and from your heart space? Because living from your heart space, from that kid space, I'm never going to grow up. I'm just that dumb little freaking girl with a speech impediment that, hangs out with her mom. And then mom, we get mom set up, and then I go out and I go experience life, and I go live in the world, and I come back and I report to mom, because she don't like getting out as much, and she's the cutest little thing. I got like 40,000 pictures in my cloud. It just goes back, and that's only since 2016. I record a lot of data, and then, I come home and I share with mom the pictures, and I share the stories and stuff like that. And she's always, I really feel bad for the people that are shut in, that can't get out and experience life. I'm like, Mom, you don't get out much, but you sure do. I think I've done a pretty good job of sharing my life with her, so she doesn't ever feel like she's shut in, because I bring experience and things like that outside into her, and we have a real good time doing it, and I'm excited for the next step of what God is gonna allow for me, because I'd like to take her out more in outings with Ma, and when I make, we'll sit around, we talk about food a lot and recipes, and you think of this, we talk about so much stuff, and she's often saying, you should write a cookbook, Margie. And I'm like, not. I will if you help me, Ma. So mom and Margie's Marvelous Meals. I said, I'll tell you what. I'll make the food, and then you taste it, and then if it's good, then I'll take the food. We'll take the leftovers out and share them with other people that don't have as much. And she's like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a good time, man. Yeah, there's a civil war going on, but the real civil war, as I see see it as each individual person on this planet, and they're having a war with themselves. Do they want to act civil? Do they want to act civil? Oh, I went all the way through. It stopped. That was a lot of photos. You know, do I want to act civil when I go out in any situation and somebody's a jerk to me, you know, and just for no reason? Am I going to be able to come with them and be like, you know what, brother, or whoever, you know what, so-and-so, I understand where you're coming from, because I've been in a fearful place like you before, and I have acted just like you. And if you want to take a moment and, you know, get off your chest what's causing you so much, you know, because you'll never see me again. You know, you can vent to me. I'm not going to turn you in. I'm not, you know, just get it off your chest. People just are so weighed down by insurmountable things, you know, that seemingly. But if you turn your faith to God, I found lately, at this point, it seems like I have more to lose than I ever have in my whole entire life. And every time it's like I look at that, it's like my faith in God just grows. It just grows higher and bigger, and that is because I feel supported. You see, I've never felt supported in my whole entire life. I've always had to make myself feel better, because nobody around me was the comforting type to me. Because they didn't know how. They're just like, what do I do with her? I was like always a puzzle, and they just never, and I always knew how everybody else worked. That's what I didn't understand. You know, just give me just go like it'll be okay, you know, just, I'm not that scary, you know, but I just have all this energy. I freak people out. I always have. And I've never been violent, you know. It's just so weird, but because I grew up around people that I don't know how to explain. I know a lot of people have had the same. We just weren't loved the way that was good for us. People just loved us based on how, you know, they were programmed to love. You know, this is what you do, and you know, and my grandpa was a drunk, so my dad was an asshole. You know, and that's why if I can die sober in this incarnation and not, you know, let my spirit go with the spirits, then I can resolve that karmic wreckage, you know, and hopefully heal that, and hopefully my niece doesn't get it, and that stops in the family line. That's how Marge astrology talks about healing. That's how I see is healing the family. Just don't do the same behaviors that all your ancestors did that made them a freaking asshole. Just stop doing it. You know, stop making money people's freaking higher power. People, and well, we're gonna find out, because a lot of people it's gonna get so gnarly, man. But because of the civil war that people are having in their self, because a lot of people are just like, fuck it, being a good person hasn't done me any good, so I'm just gonna freaking go to the dark side. That's why we lose people to the dark side, because, dude, it's just easier than it is to freaking, I mean, come on. I still don't have running water, and I paid the bill yesterday at like 8 o'clock in the morning. And that's 2 full business days. You know? I mean, it's just this, and I'm not going to call him. I'm not. I'm just going to see it, because I'm moving. So that was me cleaning up the wreckage of my past. That was like the last part of it, you know? I mean, that's the end of my water story. I cleaned it up. And they still haven't done their part. And they're probably not. I don't care. I'm not going to use it anyway. I'll use it to clean up the house and, you know, go to the bathroom and the toilet, and I won't have to get creek water anymore, but all, you know, it's just like, people are like, did you call him and tell? I'm like, no, why do I have to tell everybody to do their job when they're the ones that take all the fucking money to do it, you know? It's just so stupid. I'm tired of freaking, I call them the bureaucrats, you know? And there's so many people that like work for the city and the state and the government, and they benefit from it. And there's people, and it's just like, I don't judge people and condemn them for it, but I'm just like, well, that's why it exists, because so many people benefit from it. I mean people, you know, but they're finding out that, oh, there's people are starting to get healthier all over the place, and a lot of people have stupid jobs because of things like health insurance like that. And the fact is if you get healthy, then you don't need health insurance, is what it comes down to. And then it's like, what do you want to do in the meantime if you don't have to freaking go to a place that you hate every day and hang out with a bunch of freaking really weird people all day long? I was in corporate America. I hated it. I'm in IT too. It pissed me off like every several times a week, because I'm always having to clean out porn and shit like that, and clean up freaking nasty stuff, because they are so egomaniacal. They made so much money. Go buy your own shit at home, your private stuff, and put it on that, but they just don't care, because they don't, you know who they are, because of their name placards and their business cards and their freaking stupid silky ties and shit, you know? It's just disgusting. Oh my gosh. I don't miss it. Hanging out with Ma is way better. So, how long have I been running? Oh God, corporate America, man. I worked at TD Ameritrade. I was like 6 weeks, 7 weeks. That was before West Corp. That's not even on, well, I don't even put that one on my resume because it's so short. Tut. That's where Prickett's family owns it. Prickett's? Yeah, TD Ameritrade, stock trade. Tucker. His family also owns the Chicago Cubs. He's, I can't stand the guy. He makes my third eye twitch. Makes me want to throw up my twitch. He's the governor. Prickett's is what I call him. I call him Prickett's because his name is Pete Ricketts. Prickett's. He's going to make Nebraska be the last fucking state in the nation to legalize medicinal marijuana, and for that reason, I really don't like the fucking guy at all. His law office was across the street when I worked at G4S, the last place I worked at. The last place on my resume. G4S is the third largest company. It's a security company in the world. Yeah, his office was right across the street. And then, incidentally, it was in the same building, different floor, right above the same, from the hive where that barkeep killed that kid in front of his bar. He shouldn't have killed that kid. Anyway, all this stuff happens in Omaha. Because Prickett's is a lawyer, so he used to park across the street, and the girl that worked in the diner told me where his parking place was, and I was like, I just want to know, I want to see him there one time, because I just wanted to put a freaking loogie on the side of his window. Just a loogie. I don't key cars, that stuff like that. No, even loogies are bad karma. I probably got a chip on my windshield for that before, but the thing of it is, to me, that's worth it. Because that guy is such a freaking scumbag that me accruing karma for hucking a big, because they run. I mean, just to know that, now you got to wipe it off, maybe get somebody else, at least, you're going to put through some effort. Go through a car wash, I don't care, but you're going to have to do some action to get my spit off your car because you are a scumbag, Prickett's. I know people that work in the government in Nebraska too, and it's just like the control freaks are shorting out because they have no personality and they don't know what they're going to do with themselves except hunker down and count all the piles of money that aren't going to do them any good in the 5D earth, Things are about to get real primitive, right? Real primitive. Yeah, we're going to have a whole lot of new technology, but first, the old technology, it's going to freaking... Yep. It's because more and more people are starting to think about stuff like this, because more and more people are giving their attention to it. So like the 10 Days of Darkness or the event or whatever, you know, everybody has their tower moment. We just had in Oregon, we had several days of darkness. Several. 10, there's probably 10 days of darkness here just from the smoke. How many? I mean, does it have to be like, you know, something where the power grid goes out or something? I mean, does it have to be something like that, or can it be manifest in a different way? What if something happens, you get like eye flash and you can't see for 10 days, you know, or so, you know, you're a welder and you get, you know, something happen, you know, things manifest in different ways. Not we're a lot of people having different experiences, but the more people start like clocks lining up their TikToks, more people start thinking about the same stuff. People are seeing all the Luciferes. They're seeing all the Luciferi storylines, and they're like, it's so rad to see so many people coming to Jesus right now. I'm coming back. I'm back in Jesus. I'm back in. I was like, yeah, God's there, he's got it. But it's only been the last couple months, and it's in the astrology too. It's beautiful. So many people are coming into they're coming back to their relationship with God, Christ, Source. Call it whatever you want. It's not Luciferi. It's not the Luciferi. So that's all that matters to me. Oh gosh, the current stream bit weight is slower than the recommended. Well, since I didn't change it last time, should I open the widget? Should we open the widget? So stupid. Good connection. Now I'm not interested. It's just, what do you do? What do you do? You didn't, Scott Rivet. That's funny. Scott, if you find me a place, buddy, he did. Scott Rivet's here. Oh my God, I was wondering if you were gonna come in. We used to, when we're back in 2002, winter blizzards in Nebraska, me and this freaking meathead, he makes me more and less gay at the same time. He's so fun. I love you, Rivet. He's in Aries. He does floors. Great, beautiful floors. Good work. We used to drive around and help pull people out of snowdrifts and stuff. They got stuck. Yeah. It is. Oh my God. I put a post on Facebook, Rivet. I said if somebody can find us a place for me and Mom and all the dogs for about $1,200 a month, I got deposit money and all that, you know, then I'd go back. I'd go back. It's at this point, it's wherever anybody wants us. And my brother said he would help get Mom in a comfortable way to said destination, so I just have to drive back with all the dogs and belongings and stuff like that. So I used to sleep with this chick. Yeah, we'd crash out. It wasn't like that. Don't give him the wrong idea. That is so funny. It's okay. Because we'd go do stuff like that and then go crash out. We'd just do all-nighters because I was gay as fuck, and I was butch in the Air Force and did mechanical stuff, and he's butch too, so we just go down and just do dude things together, you know. And we would sleep in the same bed because we just crash out and then get up, go get coffee, and then start your day, kind of thing. That's so funny. Oh, easy there, Turbo. Oh, that's so funny. Rivet, we had a lot of good times. God, you know, Aaron, I think about Aaron all the time. See, Aaron is why I don't bother girls that don't like me too much. I bug them, but I won't bother them. I'm definitely no stalker. No, because Aaron, because he freaking dated a girl that had the wrong idea. I know, it's such a bad. I got rest in peace with the freaking shotgun blast to his chest. You know, he's a nurse. He's a nurse. He got his son. He loved his son so, all his kids. He loved his kids. He wanted so hard to battle his demons. He wanted so bad to get, he just, people are just looking for their peace. They're looking for their safety, their love. And that's what I started to say earlier, and I think I'm going to wrap up on that, is I feel support. When I was younger, I didn't feel support. And then when I got out to Nebraska, it's like I felt support, and then it kind of went away because it changed, because I changed. Because people change. We all evolve. And, it ain't easy to find to be vulnerable and open yourself up to people. And not a lot of people have had the same hurts. So, not a lot of people are real warm and receptive to that, huh, Luna? Huh, Luna girl, my little pretty girl. She's so pretty. She's a pretty girl. She's so pretty. Yes, it's so pretty. Yes. Yes, a good girl. And so, a lot of people are, because and now because of my tube and my stuff and reaching out to people and making connections and like the book club and stuff tonight, I'm just like, you know what? That's why I feel this extra closeness to God, is because it's God works through people. And I forgot that for a while, because it was such a dark place with like the whole water bill stuff and the whole I'm just like, whatever I tried to do to cooperate with the system, they still wouldn't work with me. So then I just dropped out of society, and then I had to get to a quiet place where I could get reconnected with God, and then come back out and emerge from that to connect with people from a God space instead of from a fearful ego place, which one I was doing, because that's where I'm mad. Rivet used to see me when I was mad. Marge, my buddy Gavin, people saw me in my freaking darkness and my demons, and then I relived it here, and I don't want to live that way anymore, because I live a joyful life now that I don't need to escape from anymore, and I want to help other people recognize that they don't got to escape anymore. That you can, it doesn't matter what happened in your past and in history or her story, whichever, is that we're living in the present. You don't gotta live for those hurts and stuff like that. So anyway, that's about all I got for now. Thanks for coming, Rivet. I'm gonna hit you up on Facebook. We're gonna talk soon, buddy. I hope you have a rad evening. Peace.